Everybody, it's Pandy and I'm playing World of Tanks. I want to give a shout out to Master Sergeant Kim, who thinks I am a hacker. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't hack, but I'm giving you a shout out because you thought I was hacking when I was playing the damn game. So shout out to Master Sergeant Kim. Now I'm doing a video about the Porsche Tiger tank, but I want to talk about the regular Tiger tank real quick. In response to a bunch of comments about the Tiger tank, I will take back that the Tiger tank is a junky tank. I was a bit hasty. I did a little bit of research, i.e. buying a damn book. Believe it or not, I know how to read and write. And I want to say that the Tiger tank is an overall good tank. I'm not going to say it's a great tank. Overall, a good tank. At its introduction, the Tiger tank can outclass any allied tank on the field of battle until the introduction of the IS-2. The only fault that I was able to find in the tank was that A, it was over-engineered, B, it was expensive, C, it was labor-intensive, D, it was time-consuming to produce, and E, the machine itself took a lot of maintenance to maintain. And as all of you guys know, maintenance takes a back burner within combat conditions, and because it was over-engineered, it just simply couldn't, keep up. Now, because the Allies were able to produce a lot more tanks than the German counterparts, they were able to rush it with sheer numbers to get within point-blank range to knock it out or get around to its weaker side armor. The World of Tanks version, because of matchmaking, makes the Tiger tank a crappy tank. I will, put it out there that it was a good tank, not a great tank. It didn't win the war. If it was a great tank, it would have turned the stem and made everything right. But it was a very good tank. It managed to beat the crap out of a lot of Allied tanks, and it's been a superior tank for 2.5 years. I give it props. Now let's talk about the Porsche Tiger tank. In order to speed up development of the Porsche Tiger or the VK4501P, components from the VK3001P were modified and or transferred used into the design of the Porsche Tiger. The main part that was used in the 3001P that was transferred over was the electric transmission system. Because of its overall weight and off balance and balancing, or whatever you want to call it, the center of gravity like an SUV, Porsche Tiger needed to be towed away very often, mainly because it often got bogged down in soft or muddy ground. Now, both Tiger tanks were presented to Hitler on his birthday in 1942. During its 11-kilometer drive, it broke down a lot. And actually, rumor has it, it broke down a total of 11 times with one breakdown per kilometer. That's pretty bad. In early July of the same year, the Tiger tank that we know of got approved and went into production. A good tank. Only 5 Porsche Tigers were completed before the design was rejected for production, with 90 pre-production chassis already started or completed. Unresolved problems with the technical unreliability of the Porsche Tiger led to the cancellation of the project. 3 out of the 5 completed Porsche Tigers were converted into recovery vehicles, and with one, chassis number 150013, saw combat service as a command tank on the Eastern Front in early and mid-1944. 90 of the existing chassis were converted into Ferdinand heavy assault guns and or tank destroyers. Now, the World of Tanks Porsche Tiger is outstanding, however unrealistic. The Porsche Tiger's 200mm frontal armor on its hull was never that. It was actually only 100mm of armor like its more successful brother. It only came to 200mm of armor during the conversion of the chassis to Ferdinands when they added an additional 100mm plate to its frontal armor. However unrealistic, I do highly enjoy the tons of rounds coming in and bouncing off my armor, doing little to no damage against my tank, especially since I got the liner. Especially when you're the largest tank on the field of play, you manage to come out on top as long as the other side doesn't have a Porsche Tiger themselves. The 88mm does manage to pound the shit out of any enemy tanks, especially if they're lower tier than you. However, it does manage to have trouble against larger vehicles like the IS-3, T-32, and the King Tiger's frontal armor. The Porsche Tiger is a bit slower and harder to turn than the regular Tiger tank. It does get up to speed and move around, but it doesn't really have that turnaround or the ability to move to A to B as quickly as the regular Tiger. This is purely based off the World of Tanks, only giving it a Tier 7 engine, unlike the Tiger tank where you have the capability of going up to a Tier 8 engine. Overall, the Porsche Tiger is an outstanding tank within World of Tanks. It does take a lot of rounds to its frontal, and even the sloped end ass even bounces a lot of Tier 4 guns, Tier 5 guns, when you didn't even expect it to. I've bounced many of incoming rounds from my butt, and everyone knows if you get hit in the ass, you're getting raped. Now, if you guys are going head-to-head against a Porsche Tiger, the weak spot, the big weak spot, has to be the turret. With 200 frontal, you want to go ahead and hit that turret. If you can't penetrate the turret, my best advice is to try to get around its sides and try to outflank it. Or if you look at the very front of it, you'll see that it kind of bends, or kind of like makes a curve from its front to its sides, at a little small curve that's like 45-degree angle to you or whatever, I don't know. Hit that. That tends to be the 100mm area of weaker armor without the additional 100mm plate. So if you have no option, hit that. But if you guys can, avoid hitting the hull, hit its turret. Even though it's only 1/3 of the tank's front, hit the turret. That's where the weaker armor is. I want to thank everyone for watching. Please remember that there is a gold contest going on for the more successful Brother Tiger tank. And I'll take back that the Tiger tank overall was a junky tank. It was just a product of just extensive engineering that happens to be too expensive and didn't make a huge impact on the war minus localized successes. So to all the haters out there, quit hating. I admit fault. Now this was Pandy, and I want to thank everyone once again. Please go to the video for the gold contest in the upper left hand corner. And to everyone out there, good hunting.